If I were to ask the question, which is better, a Live2d or 3D model, I would probably get a lot of varying opinions. In fact, a fellow VTuber named Jusagi posted a very interesting poll on Twitter that showed out of 309 people, the majority didn't care which you used, but those that did care vastly preferred Live2d. This surprises me now, but not back when I started. October of 2020 is when I officially started VTubing. I used a 3D model, and back then I really thought that Live2d was the end-all be-all of VTubers. They were so expressive, they looked pretty, they were unique, and so I commissioned one. Now I love the way that my model looks, the way he moves, his expressions and all that, but there's been something that's been gnawing at me recently, and that's the limitations of Live2d. The amount a Live2d model can do is severely constrained by its quality. Those at the top tier, such as models made by Iron Vertex, tend to be the most expressive on the market, and in fact, I think many would agree that they are the current pinnacle of Live2d creators. However, even these models have very simple limitations. While the character can move around and provide quite the range of emotions, changing the angle of the character isn't possible, nor is any form of physical movement that isn't based on facial tracking. Now this might sound obvious, but once you've been using it for a long amount of time, you realize just how limiting that single restriction is. Once you've picked your look, you're also kind of stuck with it for a while. This isn't to say that there aren't ways of refreshing a character's look, as programs like VTube Studio allow quick and easy scene changes, props, and other such items to give you some visual diversity. Any permanent changes, however, would have needed to be pre-planned or reanimated once you've made the change. This is both time-consuming and expensive if you're not the one doing it. So with all these negative thoughts, why do I still primarily use a Live2d avatar? And why do people seem to like them more? This might be easier to explain after I've talked about 3D models. I truly feel that 3D has many more uses than 2D, especially when you compare it to the different types of content you can do with a 3D model. The downside is it also has a lot more equipment requirements to utilize it fully. When I made my How Much Does VTubing Cost video, there's a clip in there which I claim cost $4,000. That's true, by the way, but the model was only $200 of the cost. That's a perfect analogy for why I think 3D VTubing isn't as popular. High-end 3D requires a lot more than just a model, and I'm not talking about only money. I'm also talking about time. Setting up a 3D space, making sure all your programs are working, making sure all your tracking is working. Everything takes a lot of time to do it well. It's very easy to download a model and run VC Face with a webcam. It's easy to download outfits for Vroid models and tweak them slightly for stream, and it's just easy to be generic. And I think that's where a large portion of the 3D VTubers are. We're stuck being generic because making ourselves unique is time-consuming, expensive, and just straight up difficult. With Live2d, you have to make a custom model. You are quite literally forced to be unique. And honestly, that's kind of appealing. Almost every Live2d model, no matter the quality, is unique. There aren't hundreds ready to be downloaded and modified. They have to be built from scratch. It's a representation of your personality. Your model is your face on the internet, and it's something for your viewers to connect to. And in most VTubers' case, it's something that they care about quite deeply. Live2d lets people express themselves in their chosen way without committing all the time and resources to do the same job in 3D. Put simply, Live2d just works, and it lets you focus on content other than your avatar. But for those that can push 3D to its limit, I'm talking about creators like Project Melody, AI Angel, CodeMiko, and basically the entire VRChat community. They have taken virtual avatars to a new level. They are becoming masters of their craft and utilizing their avatar's strengths to the fullest. So to return to the question of which is better, the answer really boils down to, what do you want your content to revolve around? If your avatar is the star of the show, if their looks, emotions, and abilities and the situations you can put them in is what matters to you, well, 3D's probably better. If you just want a really nice representation of yourself, one that you've designed and one that you can use to express yourself to the internet, Live2d can't be beat. I hope this helped you decide if you're conflicted about which option you wanted to choose. If it did, go ahead and give this video a like, and if you have any questions, please feel free to join our Discord, where I'm usually available. I'll see you all in the next video.